And we'll do it live. We'll do it live. Elon Musk has annihilated my Twitter account. Elon Musk has annihilated my Twitter account. My Twitter account is destroyed. It is so far gone. It's funny too, because when I go on Twitter, I can't see, like, my Twitter account is so shut down that I can't see that it says I have zero, I'm following zero people, and that I have zero followers. And every post that I ever made has been deleted, and every media that I had on there is all deleted, and everything that I've ever had on there is deleted. And if I go on Twitter, I can't see any of the people I was following because it's all deleted. Everything's gone. It's just been completely annihilated. Completely annihilated. And I don't know exactly what I said to cause this. I mean, my posts are pretty are provocative, edgy, but I don't know. They're not that bad. So I don't really know why it got nuked, but it sure did. So, but this is all happening during the Elon versus Vivek, but I don't think that that's why specifically. I think I know what it was. I think I used a word, and it's not the N word, and it's not the F word, and it's nothing about any person, but it's a word, and it's the name of a band from the 1990s. And I'm not even going to say their name, and it's not a band that you've probably ever heard of. But maybe I'll play one of their songs while we're doing this. And so I was using the name of that band in my posts promoting that word. That's the name of the band. I can't tell you what it is because I think that's why I got taken off. I think that word and that name scares the shit out of whoever runs Twitter and that whole group of people. And by the way, my head is shaved, not because I'm a neo-Nazi. My head is shaved because I like to shave my head during the winter. Because in the summer, my head can get a sunburn if I have hair. But I actually like, and I grow my hair out. My hair was pretty long before I shaved it. But I like to shave it like this for the winter and have no hair. I like to do that. And so that's what's going on. Hello to anybody who's watching. Welcome. My Twitter account was annihilated, so I cannot see anything on Twitter. My Twitter account was totally destroyed. Now, Elon Musk has been deleting people's Twitter blue check marks. So the big thing right now is that the blue check marks have all been, not all, but several people that have had blue check marks, which they paid for, are having their blue check marks removed. And this is all revolves around the big argument between the people who are for the H-1B visas and the people against it. So, as you probably know, Elon came out in favor of this, and it started a big uproar. But it wasn't just that Elon is in favor of it. He appointed some guy that lives in London, an Indian man who lives in London, to be part of this whole thing to figure out who gets to come in and out of America. See, this is the problem. This is the problem with our current order. And then you've got Vivek. You've got Vivek saying that we need these people because Americans are stupid. That's literally what they're saying. Elon Musk and Vivek are saying that we need this because Americans are stupid. Or Americans are lazy. Let me just give you an example. And it was another, who was it? Oh, and then this Patrick Bet David guy is like, I'm from Iran and I came here and I was willing to work harder than everybody else, blah, 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 blah. Dude, I've lived here my whole life. And I've seen myself work harder than most people who are migrants. I don't want to get into this too much, but I'll just give you an example. I'll do 10 hour straight physical labor without taking a lunch break. Okay. And I've done that my whole life. Like I don't do that a lot, and I'm older now. So I probably wouldn't want to do that now. But I mean, when I was in my 20s and I was in my 30s, I would do 8, 10-hour days, 12. I would not stop to take a break. Okay. I see these other people, and I've been in labor my whole life. Construction, moving furniture, different types of construction labor, different types of labor, like skilled labor jobs. Moving furniture isn't really skilled labor, but I'm a skilled laborer. So I've seen other people and how they operate. The people that I always worked with, all of them were all Americans, and they were always white guys. Okay, they were always white guys, and they were always Americans, and we made more money than the migrants, not because in most cases, not because we're white or that we're Americans, but we had a totally different standard of work and of the jobs. Now, that isn't the case for all migrants or all whatever. But in my experience, their work quality isn't always as good for whatever reason. And I work with these guys. Like, I'll occasionally, because a lot of times where I live, I don't have a lot of opportunity to hire, let's say, a friend or somebody I know, and so I'll use one of my guys who is a friend who's like a mechanic guy, and he's a spit. I've got a lot of mechanics. Okay, let me just put it this way: I've got a lot of mechanics. The white mechanic guys charge a little bit more, but do way better work. So when I got major problems that I got to fix mechanically, I've got a white guy that I take my stuff to, and I know I can trust him because he's not out to screw me. Now, my Mexican guys aren't out to screw me either, and they do decent work, but they can't do everything. They can't do all the same stuff that the white guys can do. I don't know why. I'm just saying this is just my experience. Okay, so this whole idea that these people from India are just way smarter and that's why we need them, that's not true. The fact of the matter is they're smart enough to do the job, and they're way cheaper. So they're importing them all over the place. Foreign workers from India mostly. And they're importing them into Ireland, and they're importing them into England, London, and they're importing them into the United States. And if we're watching this whole Republican GOP thing with the what do they call it, the big rally they had before the elections, it was like all these people from India, and they're like doing prayers to their Indian gods and stuff. It was just that's just that's just the way it is. And you go to places like Silicon Valley, right? And it's Indians and people from Asian countries, and it's like, okay, and they're like a bunch of nerdy Indians and Asians and stuff. And it's like, okay. But the thing is, in my experience, I work with foreign people that come over from different countries. Like most of the guys I work with are either from like central, Mexico or somewhere down there, and they're okay. They can do some stuff. But then I've got my American white guys, and I'm telling you, they're the guys that can handle the other stuff that these other guys can't do. So I'm not buying this idea that these Indians are just so much smarter. The fact is they're cheaper. And that's what it comes down to. And so Elon Musk is not America first. Elon Musk is not America first. Elon Musk is Elon Musk first. Because the fact of the matter is, it's not just having a car dealership that makes cars, or it's not just having this company that makes the rockets and stuff. It's who are we going to provide the jobs to? And it makes a difference. Okay. If you're loyal to your people, then you want to give the jobs to your own people so that they can live, so that you can live in a civilization or a social order with your own people. This whole idea of race doesn't matter, and we just bring people from wherever, and it doesn't matter because we don't care about anything other than making money. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm not going to use bad language. No one wants to hear that. It's just stupid. It's a stupid idea. It's a stupid way to run a country. So now Alex Jones is covering this a little bit. And, I like Alex Jones. I'm not going to say I like Alex Jones, but I don't know what it is with him. Like everything that Trump's coming up, or like everything that like Elon's talking about, or Vivek, he's like always right there behind him, supporting him. And I think it's because maybe he really believes all this stuff, or maybe he is in a tough situation with them trying to shut down InfoWars, and he depends a lot on Elon Musk for a platform and for legal fees or whatever. I don't know, but here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you're going to have a social system, you have to be loyal to your own people. Why did Elon Musk migrate to a white country like America, which is becoming less and less and less so? Why did he do that? Why didn't he go to Liberia and set this up? Or why doesn't he go to Mumbai? Why doesn't he take his business over to Mumbai and work for Mumbai and just live in Mumbai and work for the Indians? Why doesn't he go there? Like, what if it doesn't matter? Then why not just go there? He wants to be around white people. That's why. But he wants the cheap labor. See how this is traitorous to your own people? Oh, you want to be around the white people, but you don't want to pay them. So we'll just import some of these slave workers in. So you screw over the very population that you want to be around. And that's been the whole story of America and Europe since the end of World War II. Since the end of World War II, the entire agenda of the U.S. government and the oligarchs that run the U.S. government has been to destroy the native white European populations of America and Europe and replace them with foreign workers that are cheaper. And white people are in the way. You have to understand that. At this point, white people are just in the way of fill in the blank, making lots of money for your corporation, or doing this other thing, or doing this big crime like inventing some dangerous drugs to inject everybody with. Like, and then you get the white guys and they're like looking into the science of it and doing research and posting it on Twitter and talking about online. It's like, yeah, we're in the way. We're in the way. We're in their way. So anyway, so Vivek Ramaswamy says that we're all stupid. Now, I don't want to go into Vivek too much, but I mean, he made basically what I've come to realize. I haven't really looked at him too much, but basically what he did is he bought the rights to the name of a company that was failing because it had failed so many times in these trials, some dangerous drug that supposedly cures dementia but doesn't. And so he started the company and then made it to go public, and he had somebody from his family working in the thing to like make the process go through so they go public, and then he made a bunch of money off selling the shares. And the guy's a scammer, and the drug that he made doesn't cure dementia. It doesn't do anything. It's just a scam. So that's typical. But here's what I'm saying. Elon Musk has totally taken down my Twitter account. So I can't see anything on Twitter. I'm just off Twitter. Now, why was I taken off Twitter? I'm not sure exactly. I think it has to do with I was arguing with them about a variety of things, but there's the name of a song. There's the name of a band, and that particular word that I was using, which is the name of this band, which I'm not even going to say it here. I'm going to play one of their songs for you, though. I'm not going to say the name of the band, and you've probably never even heard of this band. But here's the song. This is just the song that they have, this band. It's called Victory Day. What I'm going to tell you, though, is this is the name of this band, and this whole thing of what I'm talking about right now is what they're really afraid of. They're not afraid of Alex Jones's libertarianism stuff. They're afraid of this. And sing up in the bright skies, a sun for all to see. Times are very tough now for a proud white man to live. But although it may appear that this world has no life to give, well, times are soon changing. This can't go on for long.
And on that joyful summer's day, we'll sing the victory song. And the women.
Anyway, that's the song. It's called Victory Day. And I'm not going to say the name of the band because I've already lost my Twitter account just for using that word. It's just the name of a band. It's not the N word. It's not something like that. It's just, that's the name of a band. I can't tell you what the name of the band is. But if I were to start using that word here, I don't know what would happen. Maybe they would shut down my YouTube account too. So anyway, what the name of this band is associated with a religious group that was actually kind of a strange religious group, but they weren't Christian. They were like a racial religious organization, and the leader of it is in prison at like a supermax prison, and I don't actually think he actually committed a crime, and I think so. Why did he end up in there? He ended up in there because somebody that was in his church committed a crime, and that person went out and shot people. So he was a violent criminal. And with the RICO laws in America, if you're the leader of an organization and people commit crimes, you can go to prison even if you're not the one that committed the crime. And the guy's name who went to prison, his name's Matt Hale. I don't believe that he actually was even involved in the crime or did anything other than he knew the guy that did it. And I don't think he incited it. I don't think he instigated it. I don't think he told him to do it. I think the guy just went crazy and did it because he was so frustrated. So maybe that's why. And so, I remember because I was posting on Twitter that they should free Matt Hale. Matt Hale went to a supermax prison. I don't think he did anything. I think somebody may have threatened some of the federal judges. There's a claim. I think there was a claim that he threatened a federal judge or something. I don't know. I don't believe it. Actually, the reason I don't believe it is because he was interviewed on he was interviewed by what's that guy, that Puerto Rican or Cuban guy from Fox News. What was his name? The guy that took a nude photo of himself. What was his name? He had his own show. He was the guy that was at the. He was the guy that went to the vault. Geraldo Rivera. Geraldo Rivera interviewed Matt Hale, and it was the same type of treatment that they gave Saddam Hussein before they killed him, right? They have the same type of way. They get you to talk to you, and they start threatening you through the media. So I think they were just trying to find some way to get to Matt Hale, and they got him, and they threw him in a federal prison for life, and he's never coming out. And so a lot of people think that he actually didn't commit a crime, but they were just looking for a reason to throw him in prison because he was and is a racist. And so there's a lot of people that think they just threw him in prison because he was racist. They were looking for a reason to throw him in there. And one of his guys that was associated with his church did actually commit a crime, a violent crime. And so they were trying to associate it with him. So anyway, there's all that. But so why did I use that word? Because what you have to understand, if you look at what's happening in Ireland, like I've been watching footage coming out of Ireland on Twitter, which I can't see anymore, by Michael O'Keefe. Okay, I'm following him on Twitter when I was able to, and he's got footage of like black security officers telling the Irish people, they've got this big camp set up for the invaders. They've got like an invader camp, and there's like black guys telling them, "I'm Irish, get out of here." Like the black guy is saying that he's Irish. He's got an African accent. So the black guy is like the security guy. He's like, don't videotape me. And the Irish guy's like, dude, I'm Irish, man. What do you? He's like, I'm Irish too. This is my country. The black African guy is saying that with an accent, like he's been in the country like a few months. I'm Irish too. This is my country. And so you got to understand, this is a racial war. And it's not a racial war that white people asked for. That's the weird thing. It's like it's a racial war that no white people asked for. We didn't ask for a war to be waged against us. But that is what is happening. Like it's literally a race war against white people that white people never even asked for. And then what I'm realizing is back in the 90s, people like Matt Hale were saying that there was a race war happening where it was going to happen. Well, it's been happening the whole time. That's what World War II was. And that's what World War I was. They were race wars. And so you've got a race war occurring in Ireland right now where they're shipping in Africans and people from Afghanistan and people from Pakistan and building these big Al Qaeda training centers. And then when the Irish people go there, they threaten them. And you've got old Irish guys that are like old pensioners being stopped by black men on the streets wearing police uniforms, writing them tickets. It's crazy, dude. It's totally nuts. And so the thing you have to understand is for some reason, there's a race war going on that nobody wanted. None of the white people wanted a race war. I never wanted a race war, but there's like a race war being imposed on white populations in Ireland, in England, in Germany. Like recently there was a girl, I think she was like raped by a migrant, and then she complained about it, and so they threw her in prison. So that's Germany. That's what I'm saying. It is a race war that nobody wanted. Nobody wanted a race war. But they just like, but whoever, it's the group that Elon Musk is associated with, the wealthy oligarchs, they want a race war against whites particularly. They're not calling for a race war against Chinese. Sure, they'll overthrow a government like Assad, or they'll overthrow a government like Libya, but they're not calling for a race war against those people. They just want to control everything. But when it comes to the white people in Ireland, in Germany, all of Europe, in Italy, and in Greece, and in France, in the UK, in Canada, it doesn't matter what, it's anywhere where there's white people, in Australia, that's where the oligarchs want the race war. They're the ones backing the violent immigrants that are coming, like the guy that just set a woman on fire in a New York subway. Like they like that. You have to understand, the people that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are associated with, that oligarch class, they like it when white people are set on fire in subways. They like it when 90-year-old women are thrown in prison for denying the Holocaust. They like it when you set up an Al Qaeda base in Ireland and threaten the population. They like it when London is no longer, there's no British people there, and it's run by a Pakistani man who's a Muslim. And they like it when France conducts the Olympics and they promote Antichrist and different races. It can't just be French people. It has to be race mixing and all this stuff. And this all goes back to a program that was written in a book by a guy named Nicholas Coudenhove-Kalergi, who was a half Japanese, half Austrian, part of the aristocracy of the Habsburg government. He wrote a book about it called Practical Idealism. This book has been translated into English by a girl, not just a girl, but a woman, a woman who was on my Twitter page that I can't talk to anymore. She's a Greek woman who speaks English. I believe she's living in Germany. She's Greek and she speaks English and she speaks German, and she translated this book called Practical Idealism into English. So you can read it in English thanks to her. And I can no longer talk to her because now my Twitter account has been totally annihilated. And so in that book, Kalergi explains that the program to bring in a new European order was to bring in people from Africa and Asia and overwhelm the whole objective is to overwhelm the white populations of Europe with foreign populations and kill off the white populations. That is the whole program. And there isn't some other program, and there isn't some other reason they're doing it other than it's cheaper. to hire an Indian than to hire a white guy. But so you got to understand, the whole program of Europe, of the European Union, is to kill off the white populations. And this was all backed by the United States and England, who were going to do the same thing to their populations. In other words, it was meant to happen to all of Europe and Australia and North America and the UK. And that's exactly what's happening. What's happening is exactly what Kalergi wrote in his book, who he wrote it on purpose for this group. And this is the group that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and all these other people are tied to, including Joe Biden and Barack Obama and the Bushes and all those. Because the Pope's tied in with it too. The Pope is a big supporter of the European Union and foreign migrants coming into Europe to displace the native white European populations. That is the whole, there isn't some other plan. There isn't this, if you want to know what's the plan for America by the people who actually hold the reins of power through the power of the money, what is the plan? The plan is to kill you. The plan is to racially destroy you if you are white. That doesn't mean they're not going to racially destroy other races, but the other races to them are not a problem. They're manageable. Okay. The Hispanic Latino population is manageable, according to this group. And the Black population is manageable. And the Indians are manageable. And the Muslims are manageable. The Muslims aren't fighting any of this. Look, the Muslims are fighting with the Jews over Israel-Palestine. But also the Muslims are also working for the Jews and the US and CIA overthrowing Assad. So yes, maybe you could say that they're having a little problem with some of the Muslims, but overall the Muslims are the problem. When the Muslims come here to America, they promote the one world order. Listen to a Muslim talk about their religion. They'll say we're all one. There's no races. We're all one. Well, that's the religion. That's the religion of communism. That's the religion of Islam. That's the religion that the Viveks and the Elon Musks, that's what they want. They want the oneness religion. A lot of people mistakenly promoted this, saying that if you're not supporting the oneness religion, then you are, you're dividing people. Well, who says I want to be part of that? I never said I wanted to be part of the oneness thing, right? I like the difference between the races. I want to go, if I want to go visit Japan and see Japanese people there, that would be cool. And I could see how they dress, and I could see how their art and their architecture, and I could go to China and I could see how they are, and I could experience their culture there. And then when I go to Germany, guess what I want to see? Germans. And when I go to Ireland, I want to see Irish. I want to see a flourishing Irish population. I want to see a flourishing Scottish and English and Welsh population. I don't want to go to London and see Mumbai, right? We already have a Mumbai. Why are they allowed to have a Mumbai, but we're not allowed to have a London or a Paris or a Berlin or anything? See, that's the issue. The issue is that the only people that are expected to die are white people. Everybody else can have a country. Everybody else can have a city. Everybody else can have a town, except for white people. So the white race really peaked in the 1940s. It peaked in the 1940s in America. Unfortunately, they used that power to destroy Europe, but it peaked in the 1940s in America with cities like Detroit and New York and Chicago and Los Angeles and San Diego and San Francisco. And these were all big, powerful, beautiful, amazing places to be and to live. And they were amazing. I mean, it was like you look at cities in the 1940s and how people like lived back then. They had nice clothes and they had nice cars and they had big cities filled with white people. That's not even legal today. That's like against the law. If you try and do that, then they will basically you can't do that. You You cannot. Let's say you just want to right now. Let's say us white folks say we just want to go somewhere in America. You can't do that in America. Like I'm thinking, where can we even build a city? Are we allowed? Where are we allowed to build a city where we can live? You tell me, because you can't do it anywhere within the United States of America because that's against the law. That's against federal law for white people to build their own city. So then do we have to like buy land in another country? Because I'll do that. I'll leave. I don't have to be here. Like I don't have to be in America. I don't have to like this government because it's all the things that I've just described. I don't have to keep being here and supporting it. I'll leave. Tell me where I can go where white English speaking people can go and build their own cities and have their own economy and not have foreign people come in and boss us all around and try to kill us. Tell me where that place is and I will go there. All the places that existed like that at one time have all been destroyed. And it's progressively since the end of World War II. So we bombed the shit out of Germany and we killed the Germans and we keep killing them. They're still arresting Germans today for not believing in the Holocaust. They're still finding 90-year-old men to put on trial for World War II. Okay. So tell me, where can I go where I can get away from all this and we can just have our own stuff where we're not bothering you. If you're not white, that's fine. You have a city. You've got Seoul, South Korea. You've got Seoul in Korea. You've got Beijing. If you're Chinese, like you've got all kinds of. You've got these big, beautiful cities and architecture and art and populations. You've got stuff that we're not allowed to have. We're not allowed to have that. We're not allowed to have that in America. We're not allowed to have that in Europe. So, I think Costa Rica is probably, I think a friend of mine from Costa Rica calls it Gringolandia. Apparently they're allowed to do that in Costa Rica. I don't know. I haven't been there. But you tell me where can I go to do this where I'm not in your way? Okay. Because I'll fucking go there because I'm sick of this place. I don't like living this way. It's like I'm watching, I was looking at this Michael O'Keefe guy who's from Ireland, and he's showing images of, I think it was maybe in Ontario, Canada, like this big, beautiful mall in Ontario, Canada, where, back in the good old days would have just been Canadians are white people. I'm sorry if that offends you, but it's English and French, and so, but now those people are all gone, right? Now it's all Indians. And so there's a program of ethnic cleansing. That's the thing that I'm against. The systematic program of ethnic cleansing. It's happened all across California on purpose. People thought that this was all done. People in my growing up. We wanted rights for the other people. And we kind of thought it was a little too much at sometimes. But we said, well, they had all these excuses for why they were doing it. Oh, well, we got to help them because of this. And then we got to help them but the whole time, it wasn't until the Kalergi documents really got distributed, which was back in around 2014, 15, 16. That was a big impetus for getting Trump elected, actually, that nobody knows about, is those documents dropped and were spread like the gospel throughout the internet. And that's when people woke up. And it's like, no, all these reasons why they're saying they're bringing these people in are lies. Because we had a document that the European Union is based on, backed by the United States government, which said the reason they're bringing all these people in is to kill off the white populations, is to displace the white population. There isn't another reason. That is the reason. So now the other thing about this is now while all this is going on, right? While they're taking away all of our stuff, and they're basically saying that we don't even have a right to live. At the same time, they're starting a war with the Russians, and we're supposed to go kill the Russians for these people, these same exact people. The same people that are doing this to us want us to go fight the Russians. No. No, I'm not going to fight the Russians. Number one, I don't want to kill Russians. Number two, I'm certainly not going to kill anybody for you because you're the problem, right? The Russians aren't the problem. The Chinese aren't really the problem. I mean, the Chinese are just being themselves, right? They're trying to gain influence and they're trying to do this. Yeah, but they're not the ones undermining my society. It's the people running it. It's the oligarchs that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, the people they're associated with, they're the problem. They're the ones that have undermined the society and destroyed the civilization. Can Trump turn it around? Maybe. But the Republican Party already at this, like, the Republican Party can't just say, hey, look, white people have a right to exist. If they came out and said that, that would be like a crime. That would be like basically, they would never say that. That's like the biggest crime. That's Hitler. That's Nazi. That's the worst people in the world that would say something like that. Those are the people we've been imprisoning for the last 60, 70 years. You see, you can't say that. The whole system has been geared towards imprisoning anyone who says that or killing anyone who says that. That white people just have a right to exist because we're a race of people and we have culture and we have, we have architecture and we have a language and we have this. It's like you can't just say that we have a right to exist. And the Republican Party hasn't said it, and the Republican Party doesn't seem like they are going to say that. It doesn't seem like they're able to say that. Like that's the biggest crime. And so, Trump was really elected and pushed by people that do believe, like the bulk of people, like if you look at on Twitter, with what happened, which I can't because I've been annihilated from Twitter, like everything's gone. But the people that are on Twitter that are responding to Elon Musk are saying, no, look, we're white. We have a right to live. We have a right to form some kind of a government and have land and like exist just like all the other people in the world. And so there's something about this group that has taken over, America and Europe. They really don't believe that. They believe that only they have a right to exist and that every other race should die. And if you compare that to anytime, so you look at like the thing that happened in Harvard, where you had these migrant or race people that came over to go to the school and they started complaining about Jews. And it was just, they immediately, like, these people were shut down and they brought in the IDF to beat them over the head in UCLA. And it was like an international event and we're going to have to change all the laws and we're going to have to, you know what I mean? It's like, this is all got to stop now. Well, they don't do that for white people. They only do that for one group of people in America, and that's the Jewish people. And whoever works with them and for them gets some minor protections. Like, what's his name? The guy that bankrolled Jeffrey Epstein runs Harvard. What's his name? L Brands. He's that rich, wealthy guy that runs L Brands and Bath Body Works and sells lingerie and perfume. I can't remember his name. But anyway, that's who runs Harvard. They were the same ones who set up that whole BLM system and all the Antifa and had them rioting in the streets to kill white people. And it wasn't until they turned on the Jewish people that it became a problem. See, now it's a big problem. When they were attacking the white people, it was fine. That was good, right? That's America. That's what I'm saying. That's what America has become. And so I'm saying there's two things. Either we get to have something here for our own races. Like, it was literally like white people invented America. No other race could have done it. No other race would have done it. No other race would have even ended slavery. You hear these black guys and white people invented slavery. We're the ones that ended slavery. The only ones on earth that ever thought to even end it was white people. Like, we thought slavery was wrong and it should be ended. Nobody else ever did that. But we also invented America because no one else could have, nobody else wanted to, and nobody else has the interest in doing it. Nobody cares enough about other people. They don't care enough about their own population to do that. Look at India as an example. Look at China. They don't, you get hit by a car in China, you're bleeding all over the place. People just walk by and watch you bleed to death because life is cheap there. For us, life isn't cheap. We value life. We value each other's lives. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But nobody else would have made America. And nobody else is making America. And nobody else will make America other than the white race. The white race are the only people capable of sustaining America. Just look at the other countries. No one else has even come close. But America is not being sustained. It's becoming destroyed. And so if we're going to lose America, then you tell me, where can we go to have our own stuff so we can remake our society the way we want it without all this other crap and garbage and stuff that we don't like that has nothing to do with us? Where can we go to do that? You tell me. Can we buy some land somewhere that nobody's living on, and just some empty land somewhere, and we'll pay off the people that own it? We'll give them money, and we'll build a city. We could do that. But then 100 years later, they'll say we stole it or something, and then we have to give it to them. This is the reoccurring problem, right? This is the reoccurring problem. We need our own land. We need our own cities. We need our own stuff. We need our own economy. We don't need to hear from people from India telling us how to do things. We don't need to hear from people from some other religion. Like Lucas Gage, I was watching a video he made recently on Twitter, which I can't see now. He made a good point. He doesn't want to go to a synagogue and start ordering Jews around and telling them how to do things. It's not his place. That's not my place. It's not my place to tell Jews what to do. I don't go to the synagogue and start bossing them around, right? Well, on the same note, I'm not Jewish, and none of the people I'm associated with are Jewish because it's not my religion. And I could have people that I'm dealing with maybe in business or someone I know is Jewish. That's fine. I'm not trying to tell them how to live. That's the whole point. I'm not going to the synagogue and bossing everybody around. And so we need to have our own stuff. Those of us who are white European Christian people, we need to have our own stuff for our own people. And it's like we have our own money, and we have our own land, and we have our own cities, and we have our own governments. And if we can't do that in America, where can we do that? We need to be able to do that somewhere without some asshole like Elon Musk saying, oh, we have to import these people in. But it's not just him doing it to us. They're doing that to Europe. So it's not for the reason they're saying. They're just doing it, to get rid of you, period, end of story. And that's the Kalergi. That is what is written in the Kalergi document called Practical Idealism, which I told you about. That's the whole plan. Yes, they also want cheap labor. Yes, it makes them money. Yes, it's good for this or that. But ultimately, it's all just to get rid of you. That's ultimately what it's about. And so what I'm saying is, well, then where can we go so that we can have our own stuff? If you want to get rid of us, hey, guess what? I'll leave. I'll go somewhere else. Tell me where I can go, where I can set up my own city, because my city will be better than anything you can ever make. And I'll end off with that. Have a good night.